not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we're talking about practice.
Just believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one that is not me. It's beef, we strut a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines, you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'ma go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life. They ring got the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe. Connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Made for this. Nigga, I eat bars and drink flows. Thinking you woke into your third eye, peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy. It's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early. This bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game. These niggas lame. They bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same. You want the easy pass? Tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire. You can't stand the rain. Take an aim. Tell him runner, he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Laugh at these niggas once again and I ain't break a sweat. Number 1 at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this janitor with the mop stick. You gon' need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, take the 10 I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog and it's not lit. They can see that my mind's sick, I don't fight, I fight.
All right. Yeah, you know, we in the building. We in the building. All right, so we waiting on the two brothers. Slocky. We in the building. Yep. All right, we waiting on these brothers to come on right now. I spoke to both of them. I sent them the link. One of them said I was being too mean last week. I don't know what they're talking about. I was not being mean. He said I was looking mean. I was looking angry. I was looking upset. I'm like, man, I wasn't mean. I wasn't upset. I thought it was a nice conversation. So we waiting on. Hold on. This is the brother right here. Bless y'all here. Yeah, what's going on, Wigs?
Oh yeah, God ain't gonna do it.
Why?
He in the fan base right now.
All right, well you.
We're trying to come in. You on fan base, aren't you?
Nah, man, I'm no man. Oh, I ain't on fan base. See, there y'all go bitching again. Now, Wigs. I postponed it for you, huh? Now I'm
I'll come in, even though I told you I'm not gonna show my face. I'm not feeling that.
Yo, man, I postponed it for you. It's supposed to have been 6 o'clock.
I'm gonna be here, but like I said, I'm not feeling well.
Yo, you really okay? All right.
I'll be there.
Y'all niggas, man. All right. As y'all can see what I'm dealing with. Y'all gotta understand. I've been talking to these brothers for a minute. We talk on the phone a lot. We have a lot of debates on the phone. And sometimes it can get bloody, it can get messy, but I've been real nice. I think I've been real cool. I've been real cordial. I thought last week was I was very cordial. I thought it was a nice conversation. And Don was patting himself on the back. He thought he did well, but now I just talked to him. He just told me that he was coming on. You heard it, right? You heard Wigs? Batagiala?
Shalom, testing 1 2. Can you hear me?
It's gonna be hard to get these guys on here. We're going to get some fresh meat.
Testing. Shalaki, sir. Can you hear me?
We gotta get some fresh meat because these guys here.
Shalaki, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear my mic? Can you hear me?
Now he texting me again. He's saying, hold on.
Mic check.
Yo, he ain't getting on. He bitching. He making all these excuses. You know, unfortunately, Christians don't believe in the law, so I guess they can lie.
Shalom, sir.
I guess they can say they're gonna be here and they're not gonna be here. Azar War, you hear this? Did you hear the? I played it. I played it, man. Hold on. Let me bring you on. Hey,
Hold on.
can you hear me?
Hold on a second.
Can you hear me? Because I cannot hear y'all for nothing.
Get my sounds right.
Can you hear me? Say yes, no. Because I can't hear you. I can't hear anything. Can somebody say something?
I'm froze. Can you hear me?
Can somebody say something?
I'm froze on the
Because I
screen.
definitely
Can you
can't
hear
hear
me?
anything. Let me see.
God damn, man.
Hold on for 1 second. Let me see. Mic, audio, 1, 2. Yeah, I mean, I see that I'm saying something. I see my
hear you.
mic is moving.
Yo, can you hear me?
War, can you hear me? I can't hear
Yeah.
you. But I can't hear you. For some reason. Wait a minute. Let me do it like this. Hold on. Shalom.
Hey, Mataziali, can you hear me?
Shalom, no crazy. Yeah, I can hear everything you're saying in my earphones, but you can't hear me for some reason, and my screen is froze for some reason.
Yeah, why can't I?
I don't know what's.
All right,
I don't
well,
know
as
what's
you can
going
hear,
on. I'm leaving out again, but yeah, I heard you say that. We can hear everything you're saying, so watch what you say online.
All right, no sweat. No sweat. But I can't hear y'all for some reason. Why?
I'm not sure. I don't understand it. I'm leaving out again and leaving the studio again and try to come back.
Right,
I'm trying. I was trying to do it through my webcam. I might have to unplug my webcam and just go through my.
Yeah, let me switch mine too. Hold on. All right, hold on. All right, say something. Azar War.
Hey, yo, them niggas
Still
scared.
can't hear you. I can't hear y'all for some reason.
You can't hear me?
Well, hey, listen. They didn't backed out. Both of them backed out this time. Both of them. Both of them that said they ain't coming on. They on fan base. They talking about they on fan base. Wigs talking about, okay, there go Don. There go Don. Hold on. Don, can you hear me? If you can, I can't
what's
hear
good, bro?
Nobody.
Shalom, what's
that
good? Can y'all hear me?
I can't hear nobody.
Yeah, there's something
nobody can hear me
over there, Tasha.
Let me see something.
I can hear him.
What's good with y'all? Shalom.
Yeah. Hey, Shalom. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah.
All right, say something now.
Yeah, we can. I can hear Tashiam just fine.
You know what? I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Too. If you
I'm gonna go out and come back in.
You got
Stay
something
on,
going
Don.
on.
Wig said he said he's gonna come on, but he said he's not feeling good. Can you call Wigs, Don?
I just got off the phone with Wigs.
I
told him, come on, jump on, you know. I just got off the phone with him. I literally just got off the phone with him.
Go out.
Nah, man, he a road runner, man. He running fast.
I don't know what to say.
I can't go out and come back in because I'm the host.
You the host. You can't do that.
Hold on.
Obviously, he's got something wrong with his mic. Nothing. Something's going on with his audio.
Hey, yo, Don, Wigs said he was coming on. Then he backed out. He said he was coming on.
Can y'all hear me?
Taziala, can you hear me?
That's your boy.
Sir, I can hear you, buddy. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. So it's Tashiyam.
It's Tashiyam.
It's his
he didn't put his headphones in.
Built in.
Yeah.
Put your headphones in, Tashiyam. Because I can hear you as I were. I can hear Don. I can hear Tashiyam. I can hear everybody, but he can't hear us.
It's your headphones.
I can't hear nothing now.
Put your headphones on. Yeah, there you go.
All right, I'm gonna do
Headphones. Put some headphones on.
He ain't just leave out the John Diddy because it's John.
Good night. What is going on tonight? And I'm freezing. I keep freezing up. I
Oh,
don't
I
know if
thought
you
you was
see.
just, you know what I mean, still trying to say
Nah,
folks need to put their headphones on.
blah, it still got me going up. Yeah, it still got me my hands on my ears.
It's all
That's
right. Having some
crazy.
technical difficulties. That's all,
There
man.
we
Y'all
go.
bear
There
with
we
us.
go. Yeah, y'all got me up past my bedtime. Y'all better make this worth it, Pro Rizzo.
Oh, boy,
I hear that, bro.
Shit. Shalom, Don. What's happening?
Shalom, Maki. How you doing?
I'm
Aki.
too
He said
yeah.
Aki.
You gotta let some things slide. You just gotta let some things slide.
Y'all think y'all got a lock on Aki and
I
a
don't let
goatee?
nothing
Y'all
slide,
be
man. I ain't letting
tripping.
nothing slide, man.
Yeah, well, everybody ain't been raised in the same with the same foundation. You understand?
Yo, but
We got
I ain't
different
heard
foundation.
I ain't heard Aki since like
The Muslims,
way
right?
back in the Muslim, yeah, like
Yeah, that's the
way back in
Muslims.
the.
Muslims
I
say
don't
that
even.
shit.
They still do that. They still say Aki.
Yeah, Aki.
It's in their language.
Yeah,
It's,
that
it's in their
sound like
language. I mean,
that sound like a platter. Let me get that Aki with fish. I mean, let me get that Aki with fries.
Right. That's damn sure what that is. Wow,
All right.
that's
Hey, shalom,
that's
sir.
a Jamaican platter.
Come.
I'm still dark as shit, but that's the best I can do.
ain't nothing wrong with a little Jamaican now.
What you
Nah,
said, sir?
I love it. I absolutely
All
love
right.
it.
So go to your sound.
Okay, that's the microphone, right?
No, not the
Gotta get it.
microphone.
Gotta get this guy a
Go
tutorial
to audio.
on how to navigate StreamYard.
Yeah, go to audio.
We live with all this bullshit. We need to put a music on or something. Okay, he muted himself. Don, what was you on StreamYard? I mean, fan base. What was you? What room was you in on fan base?
They had a room about the beginning of sorrows and Daniel and the abomination of
Who?
desolation.
What camp was you in?
It wasn't a camp. It was one of our brothers from Clubhouse, Ron Saxton. He had a room open on fan base, and we were just
Okay. Was anybody from UPK in there?
no.
Man, so y'all wasn't being taught.
Well,
So
believe it or not, a lot of the doctrine that comes out of the school of practical knowledge has permeated through all camps and all walks and all different theological spectrums. So you'd be surprised how many foot soldiers are out here that don't have a shepherd. You'd be surprised.
I like how you said that, because why not just go ahead and come on back home and have a shepherd? Why be a wandering sheep? Like, I don't understand that. That I don't understand.
Well, God said Israel was going to be like a bunch of sheep scattered on 1,000 hills. So,
Because how the Christians say it, things Christians say, the doors of the church is open.
come on in, have you some communion. It's about right. Bless you. Come on in, have you some. Bless you, sister. Yeah, that's why I stopped going, because I got sick of that. Bless you. I got sick of that. I'm done with that. You bless you 1 minute and cuss you out the next. So
Good
I'm
night.
done with that.
Good night.
I walked away from Churchianity almost 25 years ago. Well, a little longer than that, almost 30 years.
Damn.
I can't do it. It's something there that's just wrong. Something don't fit right, outside of the doctrines. I mean, I knew this before I knew doctrines. Some don't feel right. Something's wrong with it.
Right.
So,
Your spirit is troubled. Your spirit was troubled.
It should
very
be
troubled.
trouble.
Yeah.
You need to come on home.
And there's got to be a reason for that. I stopped too, and I was a PK. I was a preacher's kid, so.
All right.
I'm gonna close
Testing
my mic.
everybody out. Everybody here.
Yeah.
Sir.
I'm in the building.
Thacian, can you hear me, Thacian?
I can hear y'all now.
Oh, what was it? What was the problem?
Azar War had my settings.
Don't blame it on Zara War. Don't do that.
Say
Don't do
Isaiah will
that.
fix my settings.
Yeah. I said we had to take him through a crash course on how to run StreamYard,
Right,
how to
right.
set up.
Nah, I mean I had it. I think me going out and coming back in. I think that's what put it together. You know, let it come in back in because I had it on.
You gotta add yourself to the stream. I don't see you on the. Are you on the stream? Oh, there you go.
Oh, I'm right here.
It just came in on my end. Mine must be
that's
lagging.
Yeah, he in there.
Yeah, I'm lagging big time.
Yeah, I'm big. I've been here. My handsome face been on the screen. What are you talking
Good
about?
night. Good night.
Yeah, that's
Good
a nice
night.
background you got there.
Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I definitely
I'm
appreciate it.
gonna have to get some lights and stuff and paint some stuff on my joint now. You know what I mean?
All right, so
All right,
Pro
Don,
Rizzo, where did we leave off last week,
but
Don?
Don was tripping.
I know he was going back. He was back and forth, agreeing,
my
disagreeing. I was like, God damn, is he in the UPK or not? Like, what the hell's
No,
going
we know
on
he
here?
ain't there.
Definitely ain't dead.
Some of the things he was
Oh, wait,
saying, he
what you
was
said?
agreeing right with us though. I'm
He
like,
said yes,
damn,
though.
Don.
Well, you
He
know what?
I don't know if y'all caught that, but he jumped.
Let's let Don ask some questions this time. Go ahead, Don. Let's hear what you got to say. Let's hear what you got to put on the table. What questions do you have? Because we're saying that salvation means to be saved from your enemies. We're saying that that's only to blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people on this side of the earth, which is the ISUPK. That's what we teach. So we're saying that it's only for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's what we're saying. What you saying?
Well, when you say only, you
Only.
mean exclusivity.
Yes.
And the issue with that starts with Genesis.
Where?
In Genesis 6 with Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth.
Okay.
So the dichotomy here is, at least from my paradigm, is the following. And I said earlier, you know, most Christians, I said this last week, a lot of Christians deny much of what the school of the UPK teaches. But there's a lot of truths in what y'all are saying when it comes down to the Hebrew Israelites. I agree with it. I don't have trouble with agreeing with what Bible says if man preaches what Bible says. I have an issue when we start to get off what scripture say and we bring in things it should not be so. When you say only, as soon as you say that statement, salvation is only for Israel, that right there is a false dichotomy. And I'll explain.
Please do.
What this shows, only shows is Noah, Ham, Shem, Japheth, all of these people, none of these people have salvation. None of these people have Yeshua. See, what you're doing is you're excluding these people. Not only these people, but you're excluding Abraham, and you exclude Isaac, and anybody else that was righteous before them. You're excluding Melchizedek.
Melchizedek, you saying?
Yep, Melchizedek. Now, once you exclude these people, what you do, you have to rewrite the Bible at that point, because your claim is only Israel. Well, if that's the case, that excludes the 12 tribes too. But see, you don't mean that like that. Yeah, you don't mean that. Jacob is Israel.
Right. And his
Now,
descendants, correct?
Well, Jacob is Israel.
Right. And his
when you
descendants,
say
correct?
Israelites, then you're bringing in his children and their descendants. You see what I'm saying?
Nah,
when you say Israelites,
yeah, you got to
explain
that a little bit further.
Yeah, it's just a statement. It's just a statement. I'm just saying, if I read the same thing on a sheet of paper and you said Israel will only get salvation, then at that point I can get on your grass about that. Unless you clarify. See, now you got to clarify.
Salaki. All right. So, what is your definition of Israelite, if I may? If I Salaki, Tasha, if I may, what is your definition of an Israelite? What's is that something different than descendants of Israel, descendants of Jacob? Is that
It
your
definitely
understanding?
it can be. It's very plausible it can be. And here's why. When you look in your Hebrew text for the word Israel, what I have seen is Yisrael. That is a construct. That is in the construct state, meaning it's you get L and you get the Yis. You get Sarah actually, Sarah, and you get L, which is Yud Hey Vav Hey. This is real interesting because what that's saying is you've got a son. You get a son from this union. You get a son. That was Jacob. And the verse is alluding to in the Hebrews that Sarah is the mother. The mother joined with Yud Hey Vav Hey, you get a son. You've got a natural human parent giving birth, and then you've got a father that's siring a child. In other words, the father put a son in Sarah, and this is how you get Yisrael. But the word actually properly means power with
I think.
God. That's what it is, and
Yeah, I
that's what
think you're
Israel
conflating.
is.
I think you're conflating two lineages. You're saying Sarah. I think you mean Rebecca, right?
Nope. Look in your Hebrew text look in your
I,
Hebrew text for Israel,
Sarah,
and you will
Sarah,
see
Sarah's
Sarah.
son is Isaac.
No, I'm not talking. See, that's what I'm saying. Israel means prince. Prince has authority. He has power directly from God. That's
Mm-hmm,
what Israel means.
mm-hmm.
Therefore, if a man has power with God, he has power with men, he has authority on earth as a man if he's a human, and that means that God is his father. And so the term is not solely exclusive to just Jacob and his descendants. We
Is
can
it
say that.
exclusive? Let me ask you this, Don. Is it
Mhm.
exclusive? Is it exclusive to Adam and then his son Seth?
Yep, Genesis chapter 1.
All right, so walk with me.
All right.
You got Adam, it's not with Cain, it's with Adam, and it's with his son Seth, right?
Adam, Abel.
Right? It's only with that that genealogy.
Yeah, it's not Abel because Abel was killed.
Yeah,
Abel
Abel.
was righteous.
Well,
Abel
Cain
unalive,
excludes
Salakia,
him.
Salakia, unalive. But he was unalive. He didn't have any seed. He didn't.
Well, that's something interesting, but between Adam's two sons, Cain and Abel, the ones they note specifically between Cain and Abel, Abel was the righteous seed. He would be Israel.
who?
Adam also
Who?
would be
What?
Israel.
Who would
He
be
said.
Israel?
What
He
the
said
hell is
Say
Abel.
it
going
again.
on?
Hold on. Who
Yeah,
would
he
be
said
Israel?
that. Hey,
Yeah, he said it.
Salakia, if I may. Salakia, if I may.
Mm.
Brother, can we get your face on the screen again?
Yeah, sure. Sure, we can get on. I can get on the screen, man. I don't got
Yeah,
no
we can
All right,
problem.
let the world
there you go.
see you.
All right,
Yeah.
so
You know
let's
what I'm
walk.
saying?
Let's
Let's
walk
get
now.
it.
Let's finish walking now. Who would be Israel? You just said who that Seth?
Israel would be anyone that God gives his authority and power to. So
Okay,
that would
so
start with Shem, and I got to write something down since I can't stand at my
there
board
you
and write.
there you go. It would be Shem. You right about that. Would it
Yeah,
be
Shem.
would it be Canaan?
No, it would
All
not
right,
be Canaan. No,
all right, we appreciate that. Would it be Japheth?
no, no, not
Yeah,
Japheth. No,
we appreciate that. But it would be Eber, wouldn't it?
it would be Eber. It would be everyone in that line that's mentioned. That's mentioned as believers.
But Don, that's what we're saying. We're
What
saying
the hell?
that
He did the thing in.
yeah, he keep doing it. He playing games with us. That nigga, he's on every. He wants to be. He
I
wants to make
mean,
everybody happy. Hey, but
Yeah.
look, you just said what we're saying. You got Adam, right? You got those that are in the genealogy of Luke, correct?
Those are sons of God, yes.
Right. And those sons of God are connected, and the covenant was established through them. Like, for instance, the covenant was established to Noah. Then it was established with Shem. Then it was Eber. Then it was Abram, which became Abraham, which is he had a son named Isaac, right? And then his son Isaac had a son named Jacob.
Right.
Jacob name was changed to Israel, and those are the 12 tribes. That's exclusively to them, correct?
At that point, it is, yeah.
Okay, so when did it? Okay, all right. So right now we walking together. See how we can be together. See how we can be one. We walking together. Now tell me where Esau gets in there and the other nations. That's what we waiting to hear this. That's the reason why we back here today. We wait.
According to scholarship.
Oh God.
According to scholarship. Now this might rock you a little bit. Job would have been considered an Edomite.
Come on. According to the scholars, according to you, was he an Edomite? If God
Job would have came from Esau's line, yes.
Okay, but listen. Yes. So you saying he was an Edomite?
Yes.
Okay. So in Romans, when he says, Jacob have I loved, let me ask you this question. Did Jacob represent a nation of people?
Yeah, we just covered that.
Okay. Yeah. Did Esau represent a nation of people?
Absolutely.
Okay. So did God say that there was no repentance found for Esau?
I don't know about that verse. I know about that in the case of Judas, but not.
Okay, but don't worry about it. Hey, hold your horses, Don.
Oh, you're talking about the blessings, yeah. Okay, it does say that, yeah.
Oh, you're damn right. So with let's say if Job was an Edomite, would he be a part of that?
No, not necessarily. No. Apparently not.
No.
Apparently, God has some special favor on Job. On Job.
Apparently, the scholars is wrong. Apparently, this is how you know he's not an Edomite, because God said before they came out the womb, before they did any good or evil, he had chose one over the other. The Most High cannot contradict himself, and Scripture cannot be broken. So how could Job be an Edomite when God clearly says, I hate them? He says they are the border of wickedness. Come on. Hey, Don, you smart.
Well, here's the thing. If you want to make the argument every single Edomite on the planet is going to be destroyed, you couldn't even make that argument if you wanted to.
Why couldn't I?
Because your Bible tells you in the Torah, the children of the 10th generation shall enter into the congregation of Israel. And that was the church in the Old Testament. So you couldn't make that argument if I paid you.
So you're saying, are you talking about the one in pull that scripture? Which one are you talking about? The one in the Torah?
I'm trying to pull it now. It's in the Torah. Yeah, it's in the Torah.
Okay. Go ahead, pull that, and then I'm gonna ask you some questions about that.
See, I'm trying to pull it now. I gotta do something. Hold tight.
Yeah, do that.
I gotta get my hotspot activated for some reason. Two, 3, 8, 1. Okay. Yeah, there's a verse in the Torah that specifically talks about Edom. That's for sure. And it don't seem like God is saying he's gonna just destroy every single Edomite. And that don't look like to be the case.
I'm gonna give you one for Idumea. I'm gonna give you one. But you first show me, let's go. I know what you're talking about.
And you know what I'm talking about? Okay.
Yep. And I'm gonna walk down with you, but I'm not gonna call it. You pull it.
I'm gonna pull it. I mean, I
All
ain't
right.
got no issue. I'm just waiting for my Mac to load up. Because I certainly don't have no issue with that part of it, because
All
that's
right.
what it says.
All right. Go ahead.
All right, and it's one of the famous passages,
Absolutely.
very famous. Come on. So let's see. I can't use my phone device. All right, so Deuteronomy, double ream 23 at verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go to it.
You want to go to verse?
I'm gonna go to
You want to
that.
go to verse 3? You want to start at verse 3?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I can start there.
Go ahead.
An Ammonite or Moabite shall not enter the congregation of the Lord, even to the 10th generation, neither shall they enter the congregation of the Lord forever. And then it goes in to talk about the reason. I won't read that, verse 4, but I will skip on down to verse 7. Thou
Mm-hmm.
shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother.
Right.
And you shall not abhor an Egyptian, because you was a stranger in his land. You are a goy. Verse 8, the children that are begotten of them shall enter into the congregation of the
You
Lord in the
echoing.
third generation.
You echoing.
You got his
Is that-
phone
is
on.
that-
Yeah, somebody's on mic.
Somebody did something.
Somebody got their phone on with the John? That you thought?
No.
Yeah, because it wasn't echoing before.
There you go. It's gone.
There it is.
Okay, so it's gone.
Taziala. He didn't want to say
All right. We've got an issue that I think that's important to lay out.
Yeah, let's lay it out. Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question
Go ahead.
about that?
Yeah, go ahead.
What established you as being an Israelite? Is it the seed of the father, or is it because you a woman and you had a child by some other nation? What, like, let's say Edomite. I want you to be honest, Don.
Yeah.
Be honest, man. Now, I don't want to be mean. Now, don't make me be mean. All right. If a Canaanite was to lay with an Israelite, is that an Israelite? And if that is, show me the scripture that establishes that.
Okay, so if a Canaanite male,
Yes.
you mean?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
There is a Hebrew female.
He lays with a Israelite female. Yes. Is that an Israelite?
He's still an Israelite. Yes,
All right.
Yeah.
Show me that. You know what, Don? You just
absolutely.
show me that.
He playing.
Give it to me.
I mean,
now.
you can't deny
don't.
the Israelite blood, can you?
It ain't
Arbitrarily,
about
can you do that?
It ain't about the blood, Don. It's about the seed. Everybody has the same blood.
Oh, the seed.
Absolutely, it's about the seed. And we could prove it when we came out of captivity in Babylon. Some could not prove that they was an Israelite and who their father was. So they were rejected. We know that in Numbers, the Israelite is established by the seed of the father. You are with the father. You are a seed after its own kind. That's been established since Genesis 1. Everything
Yeah,
is
but for some reason the Bible don't do that.
okay. Well, show it
The
to
Bible
us.
doesn't make these type of claims. What it
It does.
says is
It does make that claim. I just said it. I've said
Wow.
it verbatim.
okay. Well, watch this. This is Acts 16. I'll pick it up at verse 1. Then came he to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple there was named Timotheus, son of a certain woman which was a Jewess, and believed, but his father was a Hellen. His father was a Hellen.
What's
Straight
a
up Greek.
What's a Helen?
Helen is the Greek word for Greek. Greek is
Helen.
English.
Oh
All right,
man,
let me ask you a question. Could an Israelite be a Greek? Yes or no?
Can a Israelite be a Greek? No.
Yes.
They can be a
Okay.
I knew it.
Hellenistes,
I knew it. I
but they
knew it.
can't be a Hellen.
He can't be a Helen.
He cannot be a Hellen, but he can be a Helleniste. And that's the difference. Furthermore,
Show me that. Show me that, Don. Show me, because I could say that an Israelite can be a Hellenist, a Helleniste, or a Hellenistine. Israelite could be anything. I'm gonna give you an example. Was Elijah an Israelite?
Elijah the Tishbite,
Was he an Israelite?
you mean?
Yes.
He was a Tishbite, the Bible says, but yes, he was an Israelite.
Right. But
He
nowhere
definitely
in the
was.
Bible, right? But nowhere in the Bible is he called an Israelite.
Right. He's called a Tishbite, right?
So therefore, we know he's an Israelite because of how God dealt with him, right? And how he dealt with the other nations, right?
I mean, I guess you could make that assertion,
Well,
but you're leaping into something based on a hunch,
all right, how would you claim
right?
he's an Israelite? Because you just said he was an Israelite and he was never called an Israelite. He was never called.
It's because of what it's because of what I've already aforementioned when I said that if you have power from God, that makes you an Israelite.
Right.
So, you know, now the thing about that is Tishbite meant captivity. So that doesn't change the fact that he's still an Israelite.
Well, he is an Israelite. We
That's all
know
there
he's
is to
an
it.
Israelite because we know you're Israelite because the covenant was only made with the children of Israel. That's how we know you're an Israelite. And we know you're an Israelite because he fought for the Israelites. So now I'm gonna show you. If go ahead and pull what you're gonna pull. I'm gonna go to the Apocrypha. I'm gonna go to the Apocrypha.
Right. Well, I'm basically just all I'm asserting is that when they call him a Tishbite, it meant captivity, but he's either from,
but
I
he's
want
an
to say he's
Israelite.
from Naphtali's line, but
But
Gilead was one of the cities in which he was from. So,
well, we don't want to get into all that. He was an Israelite.
well, I mean,
Yeah, he was an Israelite.
he's a prophet. He's a prophet, so he's an Israelite.
So
I don't take that away from him. You know, I'm not
Okay,
gonna take that away from
But
him.
that's what the discussion is. He was an Israelite. So you're saying
Right.
that Timotheus, which is Timothy, his father was a Greek, which was a Hellen, right?
Yeah.
All right.
He was a Greek.
This is what it says: a Hellen, or inhabitant of Hellenus, Greek-speaking people. So this is what established you as being a Greek. You spoke Greek and you kept their customs. You did not keep your own customs like me and you. We're saying that we're Israelites, but we speak English, and you keep, and I used to keep American customs. So this is the same thing about Timothy's father. Now, in the Apocrypha, in the book of Maccabees, were the Israelites forced to become Greeks and speak the language and keep the customs? Yes or no?
Yes, everybody in the first century would have been Greeks nearbout.
Even the Israelites, right?
Or Romans. Yep, even the Israelites.
Even the
In
Israelites.
the wider sense, it embraced anybody,
Anybody.
no matter really where they're from, if they spoke Ellen.
Right.
But they themselves would have been Greek-speaking Jews,
right.
but they would have been known as Hellenes.
So what
or
makes
Hellenistes.
what makes you how could we establish because we both in a dilemma here. I'm not in one, but let's just say we both in a dilemma and we try and figure out who is Timothy's father. How would we establish that?
Well, first of all,
Was
if
Timothy
we're
a
talking
prophet?
about Greeks.
Was Timothy a prophet?
No, he was no. Timothy wasn't a prophet, but
He
he
was a
definitely was a. Well, according to the narrative, the context. Here, let's do a simple reading first.
Go ahead.
Okay, so after verse 1, it says his mother was a Jewish
Mm-hmm.
and she was a believing Jew, but his father was a Greek,
Mm-hmm.
which was well reported of by the brethren that were at Lystra and Iconium.
Right.
Him, talking about Timotheus, would Paul have to go forth with him and took him and circumcised him because of the Jews that were in those quarters, for they all knew his father was a Greek.
Right.
He had to be circumcised. Now,
Right.
that means amongst Hebrew Israelites, you had to be circumcised on the 8th day.
Right.
Who knows what the Greeks would have done? But apparently, this brother here, his dad probably didn't make him.
Yes.
Of course,
right.
I got to do some research on that. But Paul had to get this man circumcised.
Wow.
Timotheus is probably a young teenager.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So, and I'm guessing with that, I got to do some research on Timotheus. The time isn't here.
We're gonna help you. We're gonna help.
But
Let me know when you're ready for me to jump in there.
I mean, the whole point in the verse is that even though his father was a Greek, I don't see it necessary to really deal with that, other than the fact that we know that his mother was a Jew.
Right.
So the only thing left on the table is, do we want to play with Helen, or do we want to play what we want to do?
No, we're gonna go.
That's gonna be interesting.
No,
okay. What you got?
Let's go to scripture.
All right, what you got?
So, is it safe to say that Paul he was a student of Paul?
Absolutely.
All right. So let's go to Acts chapter 21.
All right.
We're gonna start at verse. I'm gonna go to verse 17. We're gonna start there. So this is. Right. Is it safe? Walk with me. Is it safe to say that this was towards the end of Paul's journey, and he was about to be arrested and all of those things? So he had already been teaching. He had already taught Timothy, because this is Acts 21. So he already dealt with Timothy. He already circumcised him and all of that. Right.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So now he's about to testify to what he did and who he taught. Let's go to it. I'm gonna start at Acts chapter 21 and verse 17. It says, and when we were come to Jerusalem, the brothers received us gladly. Verse 18. So when they got to Jerusalem, they was received gladly by the brethren. It says, and the day followed, Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders were present. So Paul went to speak to James and all the elders. Correct?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
All right, my man. Verse 19. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things God had worked among the Gentiles by his ministry. So he told them very specifically, particularly, what he did and what he taught among the Gentiles. Is that safe to say?
Oh, yeah.
All right, my man. Verse 20. And when they had heard it, they glorified the Lord and said unto him, thou seest, brethren, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they were all zealous of the law. So is it safe to say that what he told them particularly and specifically, that he taught thousands of Jews and he taught them the law? Verse 20.
Yeah, I can see that.
My man. And that would include Timothy too. But let's keep going. Verse 21. That's a cut. And they all informed of thee. They were all, this is what they were told by people like you. That thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying they ought not to be circumcised, their children, neither to walk after the customs. Right? Verse 22. What is it therefore? Wait, let me go back up to 21 so we can walk together. And they were informed of thee, this is what they heard, that thou teachest the Jews which were among the Gentiles to forsake Moses' law. So they're saying that we heard, and everybody heard, the very opposite of what he just told them. Would that be safe to say?
Yes,
Right,
absolutely.
my man. That's including Timothy, right? Come on.
Absolutely.
Right, there you go. Man.
Absolutely.
It's okay. It's okay. Saying that thou ought not to be circumcised. No, they're not Salakia. Saying they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the customs. So this is what they heard. What is it therefore? The multitude must need come together, for they will hear that thou art come. So he's saying, listen, everybody that heard the same thing, they're going to hear that you came around. You came, right?
Okay, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, right, right. It says, do therefore, and I'm just going forward. I already cut you with the Timothy thing, but I'm going forward on something else. Don't worry about it. Don't worry
I'm
about it.
bleeding.
You my
Help.
man. You my man. You my man. Verse 23. Do therefore this that we say to thee. We have 4 men which have the vow of the, which have a vow on them. Them
Right.
take and purify thyself with them, and be at charge with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they have were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that thou thyself also walketh orderly and keepeth the law. Right?
That's interesting. That's interesting because he just got through circumcising Timothy, so that was a lie.
Well,
That's what the it's nothing mean.
Wait. Listen, there is no law that states that you cannot circumcise someone after the 8th day. Now, hold on. But remember, Paul taught circumcision profits nothing if you don't keep the law. Those that kept the law and wasn't circumcised, but they kept the law, that was a circumcision unto themselves.
I agree with that.
Right. So
I
therefore,
agree with that.
the circumcision that he circumcised Timothy that wasn't because he was trying to fulfill the law. He was doing that because of the circumcision, because of the Jews, because the Jews was called circumcision. So, but that's neither here nor there at this point, unless you want to get into that. The point is,
No, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you that you don't have to be, you can be 10, 20 years old and get circumcised.
Hold on, let me
go ahead.
All right, cool. Let me land my plane because you said you wanted to get on my grass, and I don't like nobody on my grass. So
yeah, go ahead, take your time, bro.
Paul only taught the Jews. So if he only taught the Jews, and Timothy was one of those that he taught, that clearly lays out the fact that he was a Jew and his father was a Jew. He was a Hellen. And the reason why we know this is because Paul kept the law. We know that the law states that you're a seed after your father. If you can't prove that your father was an Israelite, you wasn't considered an Israelite. We know this. So that's a cut. You got somebody else? You got another one?
Yeah, I mean, as far as that,
give me another one.
As far as Ruth the Moabitess.
Ruth
was a Moabite. She wasn't an Israelite.
Listen. Okay, that's changing the goalpost, and we're going down another road.
How could it be changing the goalpost?
I'm about to tell you. Because
is she the seed of her father?
Hold on.
Right?
Wait a minute. Hold on. Me and you started this journey because we were saying the seed after the father. Ruth laid with an Israelite man and had an had an Israelite child. Hold on. Had an Israelite child. I don't want to get into about Ruth, a discussion on Ruth. Let's stay on target, and then we can change that afterwards. Remember, the question was an Israelite, the seed of the male, the seed of the male. I'm saying and asking you, how could someone else be a part of that covenant if the covenant was only made with the Israelites, the house of Israel and the house of Judah? And look, if you want to get technical about it, if I may, if you go to Jeremiah 31, where that prophecy comes from, it gets even worse, because if you keep on reading and you go down to verse 36 of that covenant, the covenant that was quoted by Paul in Hebrews 9. Can we go there?
You mean Hebrews 8?
I mean Hebrews 8, yeah. It says, it clearly states that that's only by the seed. It's always being
in Hebrews 8.
No. In Jeremiah 31.
Jeremiah 31. Yeah, okay, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, and if you go down to verse 35, it says, if the sun and the moon, let me get it, because I want to make sure that we correct. Now, you my boy, man. I'm gonna be nice, but don't.
I'm walking with you.
My man, I appreciate we can walk together, man. I appreciate we can walk together. This is Jeremiah 31 and 31, right? It says, behold, the day come and said the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. It doesn't say anybody else. So the covenant, Don, you're a smart guy. You're a smart dude, man. You know what this is saying.
Flattery will get you nowhere. They gonna get you off. Ain't gonna get me off your grass either.
All right, you ain't on my grass
artificial
now,
turf.
Listen, man, you're on the concrete in the street. Let's keep going. Not according to the covenant that I made with your fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they, not no other nation, they break. Although I was a husband unto them, not to nobody else, said the Lord. Verse 33. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. Verse 34. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, and saying, know the Lord. For they shall all know me, talking about Israel, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. And I will forgive their iniquities. Still talking about the house of Israel and the house of Judah. And I will remember their sins no more, talking about the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Verse 35. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. Here it is. If those ordinances, which is the sun, the moon, and the stars, depart from before me, said the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. So it's even that covenant is established with the house of Israel and the house of Judah. It's pertaining to the seed of the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Look,
I agree with that.
Right. And look, let me just say
I
this.
agree with that.
I'm going to show you why it has to be the seed, and it can't be with anybody that just lay with an Israelite woman, because then this would be no good, because Israel wouldn't be no more. Everybody, now you're saying that anybody has sex with anybody that's an Israelite is not an Israelite. It has to be.
So why would Paul have Timothy circumcised if that was the case?
Because
why would he do that?
Because of the conflict that Paul was having with the circumcision. The conflict that he was, first of all, we were ordered in the book of Maccabee not to be circumcised. Let me read it to you. This is the book of Maccabee.
Yeah.
This is the book of Maccabee, chapter 1. I'm gonna go right to it. It says,
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you familiar with it, so I'm gonna go right to it. It says, and they made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathens and were sold to do mischief. So they made them. We were forced to be uncircumcised. We didn't circumcise our children, and because we didn't circumcise our children, that generation kept going and kept going. This is why Paul had to address it in Romans. Let me go to it, if I may.
Where you going? Romans what?
What's that? Romans 2?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Circumcision is nothing.
Well, the audience, that hear this may need to hear this. All right, if you don't mind. All right.
Yeah. No,
right.
That's why I'm going to follow you where you're going.
All right, no sweat. I'm gonna go to Romans chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 23 because the whole chapter in the book of Romans, chapter 2, Paul was addressing the circumcision, which is the Jews, which is the leadership. And the leadership was teaching contrary to what they were doing. It was maybe do as I say and not as I do. This is what the leadership was doing. So I'm gonna start at 21. It says, thou therefore which teacheth another, teacheth that thou thyself, thou that preacheth a man should not steal, do thy still. This is what Paul is asking him. In verse 22, thou that sayeth a man should not commit adultery, do it thou commit adultery? Thou that abhorreth idols, do thou commit sacrilege? Verse 23, thou that maketh the boast in the law, thou breaketh the law, dishonoreth God. So he's saying, listen, y'all teaching the law, but y'all breaking it. He says in verse 24, you do a dishonor by when you break it. And then he says, for the name of God is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you, as it is written. Now, when it says the Lord is blasphemed among the Gentiles through you, it's not saying his name is blasphemed to the Gentiles. It's saying among the Gentiles. Well, why is he saying that? Because the Israelites was among the Gentiles. And they're watching, and y'all are trying to teach, and yet they were breaking it. Let's keep going. Verse 25. For circumcision verily, verily profit, if thou keepeth the law, but if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. So uncircumcision. So he's saying that even though you circumcise on the 8th day and you breaking the law, you doing a dishonor to God. And he goes and he says, verse 26, therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcised be counted for circumcision? He's talking about those that keep the law. Well, why am I saying it can only be the Israelites that keep the law? I read it to you last week. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He only dealt with the Israelites. He only gave his laws to Jacob and his statutes and his judgments to Israel. He had not dealt so with any other nation. So that still is in effect. Verse 27, and shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge it thee, who by the letter and circumcised do transgress the law? Let me ask you a question, Don. What is transgression? Now you said it last week. Don't make me pull it. What does transgression mean?
Well, it means to overlook, to overstep the bounds, the breaking of the law.
Right, but it means, is it safe to say, I'm just going to try to, give the audience some clarity for a little bit. It means that, like, for instance, if you see how you said you on my grass, if I didn't have a letter or a banner or a sign up that says do not come on my grass, this is private property. If I didn't have that sign and you just walked on my grass, I can't judge you for trespassing.
Right.
Because it wasn't nothing given to you as a warning not to. But if I did put a sign up there and you did read it and you still walked on my grass, that would be considered a trespass because now it was given to you. So right here, when it says in verse 27, and shall not uncircumcised, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision doeth transgress the law. That means that the law was given to them. So anybody that transgressed the law, it had to be given to them. Would you agree?
I agree with that.
My man, you know what, man, you all right, man, sometimes. Verse 28, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is his circumcision, which is outwardly in the flesh, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, And the circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, who praise is not of men, but of God. Is it safe to say that verse 29, when he says, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly and circumcised of the heart, is that the law Paul is quoting?
No. This is expounding on the difference between being circumcised and being uncircumcised.
So let me read it
He's
again in
making
case
juxtaposition.
maybe you didn't hear me. Let me read it again. It says, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, because he's keeping the law, right? If he's keeping the law, will he be?
It's not because he's keeping the law. He's using law, but a little bit more to it than that. It's because it's talking about a person who's not a actual Jew.
No, it's not.
That's keeping, that's fulfilling the law.
Let me show you.
You misreading that. Go back up to verse 27.
All right, I'm gonna go with you for a second.
Because he's making an argument here.
I'm gonna
Paul
go
is
back
making
up there
a
with
clear
you.
argument.
Let me get back there to you. But I'm gonna show you that this right here in verse 29, Paul is actually quoting a law that actually states exactly what he's saying, and he was only giving that to the Israelites.
I agree. I agree with that, but that is not the discourse Paul is having entirely.
Okay, so what is the discourse?
He's getting what he's getting from the law, yes, but he's expounding on this is elevated discourse. Here's the person that's the Jew. The question was, now, do you dishonor God through breaking the law?
Who is he talking to
Do
right
you
now?
hate idols? Do you commit sacrilege?
All right, walk
He's
with
talking
me,
to the Jew.
He's talking to the Jew. What is he talking to all Israel, or is he just talking to the leadership of the Jews?
I mean, he's talking in respect to Jew versus heathen.
No, come on.
That's his discourse. That is his discourse. That is exactly his discourse. It's a Jew and it's a heathen. First, he addresses the Jew.
All right, can I touch on something? If you go up to Romans 2:2, it says, "But we are sure that thou judgest that the judgment." Wait a minute, let me go up to verse 1. It says, "Therefore thou art unexcusable, O man, whoever that thou art that judgeth." Who is he talking to right there? Is he talking to?
He's talking to the Jews. He's talking to Jews.
It says, "For when thou judgest another, thou condemneth thyself. For thou that judgest doeth the same thing." So this is the same conversation all the way down. This is the subject matter of this chapter. The subject matter of this chapter is the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the leadership, those that was in the seat of Moses, that sat in the seat of Moses, that judged the people. This is the subject matter. Yes or no?
Well, it's about when you judge somebody, you start condemning people.
Right.
And so he says, he that's judging, and it really is a context with this anyway, but he's talking about using unrighteous judgment. It's not don't judge. He's not saying that. He's actually quoting what Christ talked about. When you judge, use righteous judgment. That's what the Torah commands.
Right. Who sat in the seat of Moses? Who was the judges? Who was the judges?
The rabbi, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes, the Sanhedrin,
So this is who this is talking to.
Well, it's talking to anyone that does such things, that judges unrighteously, but you're doing this. That's like me coming down on a thief and I say their hands need to be chopped off.
Let me say this. I agree on what you're saying, but what I'm saying is Paul was specifically speaking to those that was judging the non-Israelites, the Hellenist Jews. He was speaking specifically about them and those that was judging the other Israelites.
That's a wide audience.
Right. He was speaking to those that judge it. He says, thou therefore, he says, therefore thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judgeth. For when thou judgeth another, thou condemneth thyself. This right here is speaking, and then he says, where you go at? Let me see. Yeah, verse 2. But we are sure that thy judgment of God is according to the truth against them which commit such things. So it's speaking specifically about those that are judging though the others.
Yeah, that's a wide audience.
Right.
That's not restrictive. That's not restrictive just to Jews.
So
it's a wide audience. The word is anthropos. Anthropos. That's anyone.
All right, who was
that could be Jew or Gentile?
Who was in Moses' seat?
The Pharisees sat in the seat of Moses.
Right. And
the rabbi was the chief, and the Ramban was the one, those were the chiefs.
Right, but what did they sit in? What did they do when they sat in that seat? Did they judge Israel?
Yes.
All right. So Paul, and did Paul have beef with them?
Paul had beef. Paul had beef with, first of all, he had beef with the believers first. The next thing was,
I'm saying his major concern was those that was coming in after he left, teaching something contrary to what he taught.
Rephrase.
When Paul would go to, let's say he would go to Corinth and he taught, other teachers would come and teach contrary, correct?
Yes,
right.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Right. Those were the Pharisees, the scribes, the Sadducees. If you go to Matthew 23:2, it says the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. That means they were the judges, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. So in Romans chapter 2, he's specifically dealing with those that was judging others, correct? I'm gonna let you go, but I just want to make sure I pin you in.
I mean, yes, absolutely.
So
I agree with that.
All right, I just want the audience to hear it. So now, and look, he was telling them in this chapter that y'all judging, but y'all doing the same things. Y'all doing the things that y'all telling people not to do. Y'all are doing it. So he's saying about them, what their circumcision is uncircumcised, even though they were circumcised on the 8th day, even though they was keeping the law. Moses, Paul is saying to them, hey, listen, their circumcision is uncircumcised if they were breakers of the law. Correct?
I definitely think the statement applies not only to rabbinical Judaism, but it applies to a very wide range of audience. When he says thou excusable old man, the word is anthropos. And in the first chapter of Romans, he is speaking to not just Jews, he's speaking to, it'll tell you in the verse, he's addressing the Greeks, the barbaros or the barbarians, and to the wise and to the unwise. That is a wide audience. That's that's not restrictive to just one ethnic race of people.
Let me ask you this. Could Israelites be considered barbarians?
In what sense?
Nigga, what a barbarian is.
You don't know what a barbaros is?
No, you tell me. I'm saying, yeah.
A barbaros was a person who wouldn't have been speaking Greek.
Right. An Israelite could be anything on earth, because we were scattered into all nations. We were scattered beyond the Hellenists. We were scattered all over. So if we were scattered all over, we can be any nation. We can be an Egyptian. We could be anything.
Now that's interesting that you said that. That's very interesting.
Well,
that may be a dagger in your doctrine too. I want to let you know.
Well, we can deal with that too. But first, let's get to this Romans 2 real quick. In Romans 2:29, when he says being circumcised of the heart, you agreed. I just want to show you something, and then I'm gonna let you go and give your premise. I'm gonna come down. You said that was a law. It means you agree that is a law, right?
That is a law. Yes, that's in the Torah. Yes, circumcise your hearts.
Right, and
don't rend your clothes. Yeah.
Right, and we read. No, your circumcision of the heart. We read that Paul only dealt with Jews. Man, you read that and you already conceived of that. But I'm going to show the audience that I'm not going to call you a liar. I'm just going to say, man, you need to get in the ISUPK and you need to learn. Look, if you go,
oh my God.
Right, but this is for the audience. This is the Deuteronomy. This is the law that Paul was quoting. Why nobody else can be an Israelite and be circumcised of the heart. Only Israelites can be circumcised of the heart. And Paul was actually quoting a law. I'm going to go to it. This is Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12. It says, and now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. So me and you both agree that this is talking to Israelites, because it says it. Verse 13, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good. Verse 14, still talking to the Israelites. Behold, the heaven and the heavens of heavens is the Lord thy God, the earth also with all that there is in. Verse 15, only the Lord thy God had a delight in thy fathers, talking about the Israelites, to love them, talking about the Israelites, and he chose their seed after them, even you, which you are Israelite, above all the people, as it is said this day. So he's not talking about all the other people. They are above all the people. He says, therefore, circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart and be no more stiff-necked. So this law that he was quoting could only apply to the Israelites. This is why I'm saying in Romans 2, when he was talking about those Hellenists, Israelites, those Greek-speaking Jews, that's why he was referring to them, because all the way back in the book of Maccabee, from the time of Alexander the Great, we were forced not to be circumcised, and we made ourselves uncircumcised. So now I'm gonna let you have that. Go ahead, you can give your breakdown.
Well, here's the thing about that. What the law says to do, Israel could not do on their own. They couldn't do it.
Who said
The
that?
same way a man has to circumcise the foreskin of his flesh. How do you circumcise the foreskin of your mind? Your heart, labab. How do you do that?
By keeping the law. We just read it. He said
Israel didn't keep the law.
They did keep the law.
They broke it. You just read it out of Jeremiah. They broke it.
So are you saying that all Israel broke the law?
I'm saying you are not going to circumcise your mind.
So you saying, wait, listen to what I'm saying to you. Circumcise your mind is by keeping the law. Don, we just read it.
If that was the case, and they carried that ark around on staves all those 40 years in the wilderness, how come God killed them all off?
Why? Because they broke the law.
Because they didn't circumcise their hearts.
Right. But all of them did not break the law. But as a whole.
But they all died.
But as no, all of the.
And they didn't go into the promised land, right?
Their seed did.
There's something there with that.
No, their seed did.
The children of the fourth generation, God wouldn't allow the third generation to go in. Not even Moses and Aaron.
All right, but their seed went in. Yes or no?
The fourth generation seed, yes, they entered the land, but God said they would. So that wasn't that ain't nothing new. The point is in Deuteronomy, what you talking about?
But Deuteronomy just said with thy seed also. It said it. You want me to read it again? It says with
I'm looking at it. I'm reading it. So I'm looking at it right now. When he says, circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart and be no more stiff-necked, but that's exactly what they were, stiff-necked. Although they had the law. Right. Therefore, circumcision means something different from just simply just keep the law. You're missing a very
show me
important element there.
All right, show me right now in the law that circumcision We ain't talking about the physical one now at this point. We're talking about the circumcision of the heart. I'm saying the circumcision of the heart can only come from you being obedient to God's law. We just read it in Romans 2, where it says, if you be a breaker of the law, your circumcision means nothing. But if the Gentiles keep the law, their uncircumcision becomes circumcision. Now you're telling me,
so let's go back to Romans. Watch verse 25.
Let me get
He's
there.
talking about somebody sinning in the previous 24, in the previous verses. When he starts talking about
somebody, wait a minute, hold on, Don. Let's be specific. He was talking about those that was judging. Wasn't talking about somebody. He was being very specific.
Yeah, I don't get that in the wide range of who this letter was addressed to. There's a wide range of people. And when he says old man, the word is ethnos. And that is talking about a wide range of ethnic groups. That's where we get our word ethnic.
Come on,
ethnics.
Man. Am I talking to a wide audience?
You don't got to like the verse, but that's what it says. I would like to see how y'all change it.
All right, I got you, Don. But I just said, oh, man. Am I talking to you or am I talking to everybody?
Paul is addressing the believers in Rome.
Hold on. Am I talking to you or am I talking to everybody?
I'm saying, is it necessary for the context?
Yes.
Or is it just something you're asserting into the context?
No,
the word man is ethnos, and that's where you get ethnic. But that's pertaining to all kinds of people. It's not just talking about once. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't see this one thing I don't do. And I tell Wiggins and everybody else this: do not pervert these verses and don't butcher them. You have to rightly divide.
Well,
there's a way to do that, and there's a way not to do it. There's a way to insert things, and there's a way to pull things out of it.
All right, but you're going down to verse 25, and you're reading, and you're making it like it's to everybody. When Paul is this letter is to all Israel, but he's being very specific right now, and he's talking about a particular group that's sitting in the judgment seat of Moses.
I don't agree. I don't disagree with that.
Okay,
I do not. I do not disagree with that.
All right, go ahead.
All I'm saying is, in the context when he says, "You that teach," now who's doing the teaching? Israel, right?
No.
Right?
No. You asking?
That's who he sent out. He sent out Israelites, right? He sent out 12 apostles. Paul being the 13th, right?
He's talking.
You being a teacher, you teach another. Do you not teach yourself? Okay. You that preaches, a man should not steal. Do you steal? You say a man should not commit adultery. Do you commit adultery? You hate idols. Do you worship idols? You make your boast of the Torah. Do you break the Torah? Do you dishonor God? You say it's a dishonor to break the Torah, but do you break it? See, that's what this is about. For the name of God is blasphemed amongst the Gentiles through you, as it's written, as soon as you do these things, committing adultery, but you preach against it, you teach against it. No idolatry, but you all into idolatry. Then he says, for circumcision verily profit. We know that. Abraham received circumcision, Isaac, Moses, Jacob, all his children, 8th day, boom. That's facts. That's history. That's their tradition. Therefore, if circumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall his uncircumcision be counted for circumcision? Let's stop and let's put this in the right perspective. Therefore, if the Jew keep the righteousness of the law, because that's who circumcision is. I'm sorry. Yeah, for circumcision, verse 25, the Jew, what the Jew is practicing, it does have a profit. If the condition is, the immediate frequency is, if you keep the law. You can't just say, well, I got circumcised the 8th day, but you break Torah. If you break the Torah, your circumcision is just like you being a heathen, one who's uncircumcised. And when you was uncircumcised in the Old Testament, you couldn't partake in Passover. You couldn't partake in the feasts of God. You were outside the covenant. You could lose your life for that. So it does have a profit. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keeps the right, see, what's the keeping the righteousness of the law? Uncircumcision was a term that the Jews called the heathen, and it makes sense, doesn't it? The Jew is the circumcision, the heathen is the uncircumcision. They weren't given this law to circumcise nothing. They don't have to. Now, the same standard is righteousness. So, if the heathen, the uncircumcised, if a heathen who's uncircumcised by nature, the physical, if he is keeping the law, he's the one that's judging you, the one that's the Jew. That's what's judging you, because the heathen can do right, and you circumcised and you doing the wrong thing. That's Paul's point here. And shall not the uncircumcision by nature, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge you? Yes, it is going to judge you, because he's not a Jew. Who by the letter and circumcision doth transgress the law. You got letters and you got the circumcision, and yet you break it. Why? For tells you why. Let me explain. Because this man is not a Jew, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly. He's not a blood Jew, and he's not circumcised. Neither is that circumcision outward in the flesh. So let's get this straight. Who is Paul talking to? What is he talking about? He's talking about a heathen who ain't circumcised and he don't have the covenant. But for some kind of reason, he's doing the right thing. But on the other hand, he is a Jew. On the inside, he's doing what Jew's supposed to be. Jew is one who obeys. That's the one who loves God. That's the true Jew.
All right, so
circumcision is that of the heart, not talking about the flesh, it's not talking about the penis, it's talking about the mind. Heart is lev, lebav, or lev in the Hebrew, nous in the Greek. It's talking about the mind. What you keep talking about, keep the law in the mind, and not in the letter, not words, whose praise is not of men, but of God. When you got the praise of men, you say, I'm of Jacob, I'm of Isaac, I'm of Abraham. That's Paul's point.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. Was Israelites called heathens? Were other Israelites, did they treat the Hellenistic Israelites like heathens?
I don't find that type of language in the redaction.
Okay,
anywhere.
so let's go to Matthew 18. Go to Matthew 18. We're gonna start at verse.
You want to go to Matthew 18?
We're gonna start at verse 15. This is Christ speaking.
Go ahead.
It says, moreover, if thy brother shall, first of all, before I go there, you already agreed that Paul was teaching the law, right? You agreed to that in Acts 21. You agreed to it. You want me to, don't make me go and play it back.
No.
You
no.
Paul didn't testify.
What we just read was about righteousness.
I know what you just read just now.
And circumcision.
No. I know what you
which
just
is part
read.
of the law, right?
Right, but Paul.
Okay.
Me and you.
So what are you asking me?
No, me and you just read earlier in Acts chapter 21 that Paul declared particularly that he taught only the Jews and he taught the law. We could have dropped the mic right there and closed it down for the rest of the night.
No, we couldn't, because he turns around and says all the special things he did amongst the Gentiles.
Among the Gentiles. Look, among
to the Gentiles.
Was the Israelites among the Gentiles?
They were, but it's in the context, it's talking about Gentiles.
Wait. No.
He's with the Jews, brethren, many zealous brethren talking to the Gentiles.
You already admitted, and Paul testified to James.
Well, let's snatch that verse out the Bible, because it ain't got no business being in there.
No. You got to snatch it out. You got to snatch it out your head, because you speak it.
I snatch it out of the book first.
Look, you interpreting it wrong. But let me go to Matthew 18. You already admitted it. The people,
that's a piss poor attempt to ignore that verse. You know that, right?
No,
that's a piss poor attempt to that's transgression. You know that, right?
No,
you want to overlook.
Don,
why do we have to overlook that? We don't have to overlook that.
No, Don.
There's no purpose, and that's another thing.
Don,
What
Don,
is
hold it,
the
Don,
purpose
Don,
of
wait,
overlooking
Don,
that?
Don, wait a minute now. Wait a minute.
Tajam, I want you to
All right, Don, listen to me. If you go to Romans
look,
chapter
bro.
2,
Look, bro. Look,
hold
bro.
up,
Look,
Don. Wait a minute,
it's
Don.
about to be over now.
Okay, wait. See now,
It's about to
you
be over, bro. That's
okay, so
bad
wait a minute.
move.
Wait, Don.
That's a bad move
Wait,
because
because you're talking
you
over
want to
me.
overlook some
I let
and
you
just
no,
talk past it. That ain't gonna work, never.
no.
It never gonna work with me,
I'm
bro.
not looking past.
Never. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
All right, Don. I don't want it to turn into an argument. In Romans chapter 2, you already admitted that the subject matter was talking about those that was doing the judging. Now you can try to make it seem like it was to everybody and everybody was judging, but it was to those that was judging. And Paul was dealing with those. And you already admitted earlier in Acts chapter 21 that Paul only taught the Jews. Paul particularly spoke about that. But now you just said that Israelites couldn't be considered to be heathens by
But you
Israelites.
still saying that after we talk
Finish.
about what a Helen is.
No,
You ignoring the point. Like you
Don,
gonna ignore the grammar. This is what I'm talking about.
Don,
Why is this dishonesty necessary? Why? What's the purpose of it?
The
If you're gonna talk about Paul, right?
Don,
If
you
you're gonna
gotta
talk
let
about
me,
Lystra,
you gotta let me,
Iconium, hold
speak.
on, bro.
I just let
Hold
you
on, bro.
break down though. I just let you break down.
Nobody cares about that. I'm
No,
asking you a specific question. Why
oh,
is it important?
so now
Yeah, that's right.
you're trying to
No,
argue.
because bro, listen, bro. I already told you, I'm built different.
All
Why
right,
is it necessary? I'm asking you a question.
go ahead.
I want to
All right.
answer from you. Why is it necessary to overlook the fact that these people in Lystra, there's Jews there and there's Gentiles there? Why is it necessary to just overlook these particular points in these passages? What we just read out of Romans 2. He's talking about a heathen. He's not talking about a Jew. When he talks about the Jew, I agree with you. But when he starts talking about a heathen that ain't a Jew, you just waltz right over it like you don't see it. Like I don't even see it. What's the purpose of doing that?
That's fair. Let me explain to you why.
Okay, go ahead.
Leading up to the new covenant, leading up to the New Testament, the Most High only dealt with the southern kingdom. He didn't have mercy on Israel. He only had mercy on Judah. So Israel had became, a lot of the Israelites that was the northern kingdom had become uncircumcised. They had become breakers of the law. But then you had some that was there that was keeping the law. So in Romans chapter 2, I'm saying, and I'm keeping it in context with Paul's testimony that he only taught the Jews. In Romans chapter 2 was before that testimony. But now I'm going to show you, because you made another statement about heathens. So I'm going to show you that Israelites did treat other Israelites like heathens. All right. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 18. I know it hurt a little bit, man, but it's okay. Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15. And the people will be able to go back and they'll be able to listen to it and they'll be able to articulate the fact that in Romans chapter 2, that was talking to those that was judging others. Paul even said it. So in Matthew chapter 18 and verse 15, it says, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, so speaking about Israelites and Israelites, it says, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. And we live by this in the ISUPK. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he, which is thy brother, will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more Israelites, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. Verse 17, and if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee, which is an Israelite, as a heathen man and a publican. So he's saying right here, this is that language that you need to hear. Israelites will treat other Israelites that's going contrary to the law as a heathen. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we had Israelites behaving like heathens and we had in those Israelites that was behaving like heathens. Among them, you had Israelites that was also keeping the law. And because they were keeping the law, and Paul was only teaching the law, which you admitted already, that the law of Deuteronomy 10 can be applied to them. But now, can I go to, because I told you that Israel.
Hold on, what is a heathen?
A heathen?
Yeah, what's a heathen?
A heathen would be the other nations.
Really?
Yes. And if you're acting like the other nations, we can treat you like that, like Timothy's father. Timothy's father didn't circumcise his son on the 8th day. He wasn't following the law. That's why. See, let me just say this to you. The reason why I'm not jumping and just trying to apply things to the scriptures to make myself feel good. I'm going by the contract. The contract is only between the house of Israel and the house of Judah. The contract,
I don't disagree with that.
Right. So if the contract is only between the house of Israel and the house of Judah, nobody else can be a part of that contract. And in order to be circumcised of the heart, according to the law, it can only be the seed of Israel. You're saying it could be somebody else. You're saying now, well, God talks out of both sides of his mouth, and he really doesn't mean that. And if a heathen comes along and he's keeping the law, which he can't keep the law because the scripture says that he only dealt with the family of Israel, you have to go with that, Don. You can't
see this is what I call just learning the ABCs for the first time. If I took that approach,
ABCs for the first time.
That's right, because if I took that approach,
learning it, man.
I'm just saying, there's nothing wrong with learning it. Well, there's see no foul with that.
Yeah,
that's a compliment.
Man. I'm glad you learned it, man. I'm glad.
That's a compliment. It says you're learning.
No, you're learning,
and that's what it says. It says you're learning. But once you say that, again, the fundamental flaw in the semantics is solely, exclusively, only Israel, nobody else. What? Nobody else what?
Well,
got a covenant.
Well, let me
you meant
Matthew chapter 15 and verse 20. The Most High only sent Christ to the house of Israel. He didn't send him to nobody else.
What's the issue with that?
So if he only sent them to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, Paul was sent by Christ. So he was carrying out the order that was given to Christ, only sent out to the house of Israel. And look, Paul testified to that. He testified to that, and you agreed. Me and you walked together in Acts 21.
I agree.
After Paul finished speaking, which took place after Romans and Ephesus and Corinthians, Timothy, everybody, Paul said, listen, man, after he testified among the Gentiles, not to the Gentiles, it says he only taught Israel. Right?
That in that verse, I got an issue with that.
All right, so you should stop. You should go back now that you.
But unfortunately for you, as soon as you admitted that the heathen was these other nations, it just is over for thou. This is Galatians chapter 2 at verse 9.
You said where you at?
Galatians 2 at verse 9.
Okay, hold on. Oh man, you going to Galatians?
We're gonna gallop right on over to Galatians because that's why I keep saying, like,
all right, look. Don, this is the last one. You go ahead and pull this one. Then I'm gonna go ahead and smash you on Galatians, and then get Wigs, and then we can do it again. Man.
you just need a break from that fire. I get why you want Wiggins, and he know it too.
No, it's
I don't think Wiggins gonna do it. You're not gonna do it.
It's getting late, man, and I've been whipping on you pretty good tonight.
Yeah. I'm distraught. I'm tore up. I need some medical attention.
Listen, the people gonna go back and listen to it. And they're gonna be like, okay, I see what he's saying. Now, don't get it wrong. I know it's gonna be some Christians that listen, be like, they're gonna try to agree with you. But when they really listen, they're gonna hear that Paul said he only taught the Jews among the Gentiles, not to the Gentiles. But go ahead.
I agree with that premise, but I also agree with Galatians 2:9 and Galatians 3:8.
Right.
First, the scriptures foreseeing at 3:8 that God would justify the heathen through faith. Those are the pagans, the non-Israelites.
Right.
And preached before the gospel unto Abraham, that goes all the way back there, saying in thee all nations shall be blessed. That's what includes them along with Israel, not the covenant, but in the covenant he made to Abraham.
Right.
That's a different covenant. Then in Galatians 2:9, when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, perceived the grace that was given unto me, they gave to me Barnabas, the right hand of me and Barnabas, the right hand of fellowship, that we should go unto who? The heathens, the ethnikos, and they unto the circumcision, to the Jews. Paul went to the Jews. He did talk to the Jews. He did preach to the Jews. But in another passage, they didn't want to hear it. So he shook the dust off his feet and he went and preached to the heathens.
All right.
When he comes back here in Galatians and meets with James and Peter and John, it's okay. Go to the heathens and preach, and we're going to talk to Israel. We're going to talk to the Jews. Paul was a debtor to both the Jew and the Greek. Those are the heathens. And that's the part where I'll be saying, like, what is the purpose? Like, what really is the real purpose to just ignore the heathens getting salvation, ignore that being preached to the gospel being preached to them, just like the Jews? To what purpose is there for that? That's the issue. We just deny the scriptures, and it's in English. I mean, am I stupid? Am I illiterate? Can I not read what's going on here? This is, next time we come together, I want to answer from this, or from any of the generals. I want to know to what, and we can do it privately. I want to know, what is the purpose of denying the heathen salvation when you say they're going to be your slaves? What is the purpose of denying that Paul did preach to the heathens? He's saying it with his own mouth. And there's the witnesses. There's 3 witnesses, and that's all you need to confirm a matter. I want to know this, Tashiam. You write this down. I want to answer for this.
Well,
I'm going to hold you responsible.
I'm going to answer you right now.
Don't answer me now, because that's a big question.
Nah, that's
a big question, Tashiam. I want you to think carefully. I've been watching y'all for years. Right.
It's like
10 years. I want to answer to that.
Man, you're a little touchy, you're a little bloody, but listen.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want no quick blurt response.
No,
go ahead.
No. Listen. When you talk about, because all of this is leading to Abraham. This is where you're going with this, right?
No, I want to know what I'm asking.
I'm about to answer your question about Galatians. Is there a difference between a blessing and the promise? Yes or no?
Yes. Semantically,
right.
Yes.
Right. No. Based in the context on what we're talking about dealing with Abraham. Because Abraham wanted to give the promise to Ishmael, correct? Yes.
You mean you want to rephrase that? You mean God is saying something to Abraham in relation to Ishmael, right?
Look, matter of fact, I'm gonna get even more technical. Abraham initially wanted to give the promise to the servant. That's in Genesis 15.
What promise was that?
Huh?
I'm lost here. What promise are we? God is giving the promise, remember?
Right. And he was given the promise to Abraham, right? And then Abraham wanted to give it to his servant. Are you familiar with that? There you go with your ABC.
When you're talking about, see, you got something crossed here. God gives Abraham the promise. Abraham don't have a son. The only person in his house is his servant. Long story cut short.
Right.
That was who in line to receive the inheritance.
Right.
This is before he had Ishmael and Isaac.
Right. But listen, I'm answering you. I'm trying
to help you out.
No, I'm trying to help you. And I listened to what you asked me. You tried to throw something in there at the end and you said, go ahead, man, answer me later. Nah, this is easy. If you go, the covenant that we're talking about with Abraham, if you go to Genesis chapter 15, You,
All
you
right.
might want to go there.
I'm
It
gonna go to
says,
Better Sheet 15.
after these things, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision, saying, Fear not, Abram, I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward. And Abraham said, Lord, will thou give me, seeing I go seedless, and the steward of my house is Elzar, the
Eliezer.
Eliezer of Damascus? And Abraham said, Behold, to me thou hast given no seed, and lo, one born in my house is my heir. This is what Abraham is saying. And behold, the word of the Lord came unto him, saying, This shall not be thy heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thy heir. So Abraham wanted to give it to him, his heir, but the Most High said, no, it won't be with him. Are you familiar with that now? You remember now?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. Hey, listen, A, B, C, D, E. I'm about to give you F and G. Look, when you get to Isaac and you get to Ishmael, before he had Ishmael, did he want to give it to Ishmael? Yes. But the Most High told him, no. Out of Sarah shall thy seed be, thy heir be established. Are you familiar with that? Or do I got to read it?
No, he
All right.
says it plainly.
All right. He says
So
it.
no,
Right,
you don't
right.
have to read that
Right,
necessarily.
right. So therefore, that's your answer right there. It was always not to anybody. It was only established with Abraham, with Isaac. Then you already agreed earlier, so we ain't got to, make a long thing out of it. Then it went to Jacob. Esau was rejected. You already admitted to that. You already admitted he was rejected. So the promise was made with his seed, a blessing. Did Ishmael receive a blessing?
Yes, he did.
All right. So a blessing that you read in Galatians is not the promise. This is the promise. I'm gonna read the promise to you.
That's in the 17th chapter of Genesis. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, there you go, man. You know what?
I told you I don't disagree with that.
You should get in class. All right, but if we go to look, if
To
we
learn
go,
this,
all right, listen. Well,
that's
it's obvious.
amazing.
Well, you just didn't remember. You just admitted that you didn't even remember about Abraham's servant. But let me
That's
read.
because you pushing. That's because you're pushing some other narrative that I can't read. So when I ask you to rephrase,
Well, we talking about
that's your opportunity to straighten it up. You know.
Okay,
that's
well, I
all it
straightened
is.
it up. I appreciate it. So in now we establish in the promise. If you go to Romans chapter 9, let's go to Romans 9. Since you say you was listening to us for a long time, you're gonna take this with you and sleep on it. This is Romans chapter 9, and we're gonna go to verse 3. It says, "For I could wish that myself." This is Paul speaking. This is Paul speaking. He's not talking about non-Israelites. Watch. It says, "For I could wish that myself was accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites." Let me read it again in case you missed it. This is A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, brother.
It sure is.
Listen, we're going to get you right, man. Listen,
and I need to bring you right back to Genesis 17 when you get through with
all
that.
right. Yo, I told you. All right, listen.
Now you gonna get this work tonight.
All right. No. You're not gonna keep me on here.
Y'all gonna have to deal with this
I already
tonight.
told you had one more shot, and then we could continue again. We could get it again. But I told you I'm going to rebut what you're saying. It says, verse 9 and 3. "For I could wish that myself was accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom, and these Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption, Israelites, and the glory, Israelites, and the covenants, Israelite, and the giving of the law, Israelites, and the servants of God, Israelites, and the promises, Israelites, who are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came, who is over all, God blessed forever. Amen." Verse 6. "Not as though the word of God had taken non effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. Because we know that we have people like King Herod and stuff like that that claim to be the king of the Jews, but really wasn't an Israelite. But I'm going to keep going. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham. Well, why is he saying that? Because Abraham had 8 sons. So he says, you're not the promise because you're the seed of Abraham, and they are all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That's who the promise was made for. That's who the covenant was made for. That's who the services of God was made for. All the things that he said in verse 4, all of those things was to Isaac. Let's keep going. Verse 5. That is, they which are of the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God. That's a mean cut. That's talking about your heathens. That's talking about all of the other people that you're talking about. It says, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Well, who is the seed? Who's the children of the promise? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob became Israel, and the 12 sons and their seed, the nation. Let's keep going. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. Talking about Isaac. And not only this, but when Rebekah, who also conceived by one, which is by Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither have done any good or evil, but the purpose of God according to the election. The word election means chosen, might stand, not by works. That means that even though you're saying, which this is not the case, but even though you're saying that Paul was saying that non-Israelites was doing the works of the law, that doesn't qualify you to be the seed of the promise. This is another cut. Let me read it again. For the children being not yet born, neither have done any good or evil, that the purpose of God according to the election might stand. That means what God had chose, not by works, but by him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. It was written, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. Then what shall you say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? Because this is what people would say. This is unrighteous. How could God choose all of these? Choose Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and the Israelites and not everybody else. We would say that that's not fair. This is why Paul says, I'm going to read it again. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God? God forbid. For he said unto Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy. I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. So then it is not up to him that willeth, nor of him that runneth, but of God that showeth mercy. One more. For the scripture said unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So the Most High is the one that declares it by election, not by works, not by works. So I tell you what, we could do it again. Maybe you could go back and listen to it, regroup.
Yeah, we definitely need to go back because there's something missing here. And
Genesis 17, right? Ain't that what you said you wanted to go to?
Yeah, I mean we can go to it later, but
all right, well, we can do it again. You can go ahead, regroup, get yourself together. But listen, after that, we got to change the subject because we can change the subject, but you got to talk to your boy Wigs, man. You got to try to build him up because he's a little weary, a little scared.
I don't know.
That's your man. That's your man.
Well, he said he had family with him, so he couldn't just sit here.
No. I talked to Wigs. I sent him the email just like I sent it to you, and he said he was coming on. He said he'll be there.
I know. I know, but that's Wigs, man. That's
man, you know what? You can get somebody else, man. You can get one of the other guys if you want, man. If you want to get one of the other guys.
I told you got to get on fan base, man. Get on fan base.
I am on there. I'm on there now. But this is the thing,
Yeah.
right? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call you tomorrow, right? So you could talk me through it because I am on there. If you look for me, I'm on there. This is the C, right? This right here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Fan base. I don't think it's C. It's an F. Looks like an F, like a lightning.
Really? So I'm on something else. Look.
Yeah, let me see what you got. Blow your screen up.
Can you see it?
No, I can't see it from this distance. Let's
It's a
see.
fan base.
Yeah, so when you get on fan base, usually when I get on it, it shows me, and I can't pull it up right now, but there's at the top of the left-hand corner of the screen,
Mhm.
you'll see a little message icon. You have to click on that, and that'll bring you to the rooms.
All right.
So when
Well,
you
I
first
got
open
one
up,
follower on fan base. But maybe this the wrong one. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send a screenshot of it to you.
I'll send you a link.
Okay,
I'll just send you the link.
Send me the link
When
again.
we're done here, I'll send you the link.
Okay,
So
do
you can
that.
get on.
And I come on, man, and I rough you up over there too.
Yep. And you definitely, get on the Grand Rising room. You just need to get a little bit more visible so we can
Well,
pull these type of people in.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation, but we could talk about that. We definitely we could definitely rap about that. But hey, I appreciate you coming on, man.
For sure.
I hope I wasn't too rough with you. Sometimes
Nah,
I had to slap you around a couple
you're
times.
all right.
It was good slap.
Look,
It was good. It was good
exercising my leg and doing a little roundhouse here too. I could use that every time we come together.
I appreciate
yes, sir. I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate it. All right, then.
Yes, sir. You know how we get down.
All right.
Shalom, family. Y'all have a good one.
You too. Hey, can you come on stage, Azawar? Hey, man, why y'all leave me like that, man? I can't hear nothing you saying. Hold on. Now we about to do this
again. There we go. My bad. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Listen, man.
Go ahead.
Listen, bro. Like you know how I get down. You know what I mean? I saw that y'all had an ability to keep talking. You know what I mean? Without really, really nailing him to the ground, man. But the ball was running too much for me, man. And it's just like, I like to corner him sometimes. You gave it to him, man. So I was just like, you know what, you got it. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy. But my man don't know what a Gentile is. He doesn't know what a heathen is. Right. You know what I mean? And that part is, I don't, I just don't, it is what it is.
My thing about Don is, right, he give too much creed, he give too much authority to the Greek language, and he makes that Greek language dominance over everything else. And that's the thing with Don. He does do that a lot. He does that quite often. But he admitted this is where he lost the debate at. He lost the debate in Acts chapter 21 because he admitted that Paul had said that he only taught the Jews, he only taught the Israelites, and that took place after Romans. Right. So he just,
Well, hey.
We sent on the earth to teach the truth.
Con, man. Come, man. But boy, I mean, like I said, that when you was like, the heathens are the other nations, he just was like, wow. And it was almost like he thought he had something there, but it's something that we can easily say that'll corner him. But I guess we'll wait for the next time, you know what I mean? And give him, like you said, give him a chance to regroup. I don't know how many times you're gonna want to go against this cat, but I
wanted it to be him and Wigs tonight. That's what I wanted. I wanted it to be him and Wigs because Wigs,
Wigs is a road runner. But what I will say is this: if the brother is on next time we on, man, yo, let me get your address, man. I'm gonna send you a war scarf. I'm gonna hook you up with a war scarf or a tam or something. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get you right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna send you one, man. On me. Right. On me. You know what I mean? Your brother guy make sure you right. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get you a nice war scarf. so you could be, have a good representation up on this joint. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on, man, for real. And the next time, we see where we pick up if we're gonna keep it on the same topic. I learned a lot, from these dudes and understanding their misunderstanding. It's just like, wow, dang, so for some of us it's very simple. And I guess, they're wiser than that, I guess. I don't even know how to explain that. But to us it's very simple. And I know, like you said, you give him some credence and telling him, he a smart man. But I already know as soon as you say that, it's like this brother's gonna really prove to you that he just ain't gonna get it. You know what I mean? So, but hey, to the next time. But the things Christians say, boy, wait, they never surprise me. They still say some things that oh shoot, for real? Dang, I thought y'all at least knew that. No,
we're gonna try to get. We're gonna try to get some. We're gonna go get. I'm gonna go out and try to get a bishop.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, I told him to watch the night. I told him it's not really rough, but he made me get a little rough with him a little bit.
Don?
Yeah, he made me get a little rough with him.
Nah, we ain't get rough yet.
No, I said a little rough.
Yeah, he started kind of, trying to overtalk and run. That was a run. If anybody want to go back and watch that part. Oh, my man was like, no, you got to, no, you was running right there, buddy. He's trying to get up out of that one.
Yeah, he was. But I wasn't going to let him. That's why I let him go ahead and get it off. I said, go ahead and get it off, man. Go ahead and do you.
Right.
Because it's for the audience. It's for the people that listen so that they can, listen and say, okay, I see where they're coming from. I see where the Israelites are saying. I see what they're saying in the ISU. You know what I'm saying? And it is the home of the truth. And we are sent here to teach the world. We're not just here to teach, to do it. We're here to teach this truth. So hopefully, like I said, we can get Bishop on here. We get Wigs on here. I might try to I might get Dre. Dre articulates himself. It's another cat. Aaron, I called him too. A couple other brothers that be on Clubhouse. I was trying to reach out to so we could have change the subject a little bit. But it just seemed like it's gonna always turn into a debate. And I know that's
because we have a difference of understanding and things, it's always going to be a battle. You know what I'm saying? So that's inevitable. And we try to have the conversations. But when it comes down to it, it's just like, well, why do you believe the way you believe? And how did you come to this conclusion and all this other type stuff? And then eventually they say some wild and crazy thing. And it's like, you got to show me scripture.
Yeah, that's exactly how it started too. Oh, you got to show us.
You got to show me some scripture for that one. You know what I mean? And then they'll go and show you some scripture that you already know that don't mean that. And then now you got to, man, that ain't what that means. So, it is what it is. The good thing is somebody is out there that might be watching, you know what I mean, that need to fill up their precept books. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what that opportunity brings when we start going into that. But again, this is like having a conversation, sitting down, you know what I mean, and just basically like, hey man, this was going on. And then of course we not always going to do debates, like you said. We're going to have different things that we're going to do. Eventually we're going to be doing some things Christians say for the streets. So we're going to do some street stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
work here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to work on that leading up to it. Now next week we won't be on because we got the feast, but the week after next we'll come back.
Day of Atonement.
Yeah. Then we'll have some more material where we can go out in the streets and interview a couple people.
Yeah.
Christians and get what they saying out there, what they believe.
Exactly.
I think one of the things go ahead.
Uh-huh.
I think I was gonna say one of the things we could really get on is Jesus God. I wanna yeah, I want to rap the Christians about that.
Yeah, man. We gonna have to. That's definitely something we can do on, man. We can get family members in on that one.
Yeah,
we could call friends and everything on that one. You know what I mean? Just go calling around, just like, hey, man, just answer this question for me real quick. Yes or no? Is Jesus God? All right, no problem. Next, and see how many people we can call up randomly to answer that question. I know you know. I know you got some Christian phone numbers in your phone. I know I do somewhere. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna call some folks randomly and see what they say, and then have a discussion about it.
I think I do. But yeah, I got to check out this fan base thing you talking about too. I got to check.
Yeah. Handle that. You got that, sir.
Crazy.
Tell me all about it. Tell me all about it. Tell you, y'all can do it, man. I can do it too, and I'm working on it. But I know how I am. Eventually, I'm just going to start, just going in on folks, and not in a bad way. It's just like I just cut to the chase, man. Like say what you want. Say what you, don't beat around the bush. Don't say the etymology or this understanding or the Greek under. Say what you want to say, man. Just go ahead and say what you want to say. We are all one people. You know what I mean? This is heaven right now on earth. Jesus loves everybody. He loves you, and so do I. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and say what you want to say and get off the daggone line, man. You ain't got to sit here and try to make sense. Just say what you want to say, plain English. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we see where you stand, and then we can move on. But when you're going to sit here and try to make sense of it, that's where you go wrong, because it doesn't make sense. Because the Bible has one flow to it, and it's always been about the children of Israel. You know what I mean? Then he gonna say the Israelites is something different. Oh man, that's when I if you go back and watch the show. I saw. When he said that, I said I'm out of here. That's it. I'm gone. I can't. He said the Israelite. He's like the Israelites. Other thing, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, oh man, good night. I said, get him. Get him.
Then he get to the word and all that. That's what Don do, though. That's what Don do.
Yeah. I said, I need to make sure if that is nice and clear, get a nice big screen. That's when I told the boy, I said, listen, man, you need to get your face on the screen, man. Let the world see you, bro. He's saying some crazy stuff, man. Yeah, let the people see you, man. You know what I mean? Because, man, one day he gonna look back on it. Like I'm telling my son be trying to do these videos, and I know I'm gonna end it here. My son be trying to do these videos and stuff. I be like, listen, man, nah, young, you being silly. I don't want you to be out here years later looking back on like, why'd you let me do that? I embarrassed myself. He gonna be looking back on this Joe Leah's leaders like, what the heck was I thinking?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine some of the conversations me and you had in the barbershop back in the day, and them Jones was film? I'd be sitting here like, man, why'd you do that to me, man? Why you had me on film like that?
Yeah, Don he go. I think he is gonna go back and listen and be like, yeah, ooh, yeah. Ooh,
some things, yeah, you cut it, and it was some deep stuff that, I don't know if it hit or if it went over his head, you know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. I'm definitely gonna rap to him. I'll definitely get a chance to talk to him, rap to him. Yeah. I'm gonna rap to him again. I'm gonna talk to him probably again tomorrow on my break. And
one thing I will say, and I'm this one, if anybody watching, for all those that's watching, this show right here is definitely going to help you in dealing with, your family members that always come up and say all different types of stuff and try to make what you think and what you understand to be wrong. You know what I mean? You're going to hear all types of, evidently, you're going to hear all types of crazy stuff on this show right here.
Right.
You're going to hear all the things that Christians say that make you say, all right, you know what? I need to go take it this way, or I need to take it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because, that's what we're going to be dealing with. So I'm looking forward to, shows coming up, in the future, what this thing is really going to bring about. Like I said, this is really just a flagship. We just kicking off. And, eventually we're going to settle in on a time, whether it be 6 or 8. You know what I mean? So y'all let us know too. We listen to the audience. What time is a good time for this show to be on. You know what I mean? Because we want to make sure everybody is around to actually get all this information. Because Tashium is blowing folks out the water right now, man. And he bringing out some heavy stuff. So it's good to be able to be on here and listen and get these scriptures and add them to your precept book so you can save your family, man. Straight like that.
All right. Shalom, Yahweh.
Yeah. Hey, shalom, Yahweh.
Not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we're talking about practice.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than 1 that is not me. It's beef, we strut a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines, you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'm a goat, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life. They ring got the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe, connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Made for this, nigga, I eat bars and drink flows. Thinking you woke into your third eye, peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy, it's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early, this bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game, these niggas lame, they bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same, you want the easy pass, tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire, you can't stand the rain, take an aim. Tell him runner, he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Lamping these niggas once again, and I ain't break a sweat. Number 1 at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this, janitor with the mop stick. You gon' need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10, I do not miss.